Heya Cryptozens, tonight's show, Underground Chinese Bitcoin Miners. It's 10 p.m. Pacific time. The date is May 18th, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm your host, Nick. The cover model for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. So take a minute, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast now, because we're here at 10 p.m. every night to bring you the crypto news analysis that you need to start your day. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. Off-grid electricity, geographically diverse locations, small operations, proxy servers. These may all be emboldening Chinese miners, which seem to be quite emboldened indeed, because something interesting has happened. Remember last year how China banned mining Bitcoin and any other kind of cryptocurrency transactions? Remember last May, the People's Republic of China finally stopped saying that they were going to ban cryptocurrency. They finally did it, after years of warnings. It doesn't appear that the ban has had the desired effect. The Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance's website describes them as, quote, "At the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, we study alternative finance, including financial channels and instruments that emerge from outside of the traditional financial system." As you can imagine, they're quite interested in digital assets and cryptocurrencies. As that's the case, they regularly publish something called the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index. And this index is based on aggregated geographical location from partnering mining pools. Their most recent report showed something interesting and a little unexpected. What it showed was that from the period of September to January, it looks like China started mining again. The numbers show China at 20% of the world's Bitcoin total hash rate. And when I saw this chart on Twitter, I was surprised to say the least, because as expected, in July, there was zero hash rate coming out of China. They had that ban, you know. So from that time on, in July, there was nothing. Nobody was mining any kind of Bitcoin in China. That was true until it wasn't, because in September, miners started mining again. There was virtually no activity in August, and they hopped right back up there. They were responsible for 22.3% of the world's Bitcoin hash rate in September. So they went from 0 to 22.3%. For reference, that 22.3% is in comparison to the United States at 27.7%. And for reference, the United States is leading at 27.7% at that time. So they went from nothing to almost back up to where they were. The Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance, or CCAF, they have theories. Here's one. They say that data, quote, "strongly suggests that significant underground mining activity has formed in the country. Access to off-grid electricity and geographically scattered small-scale operations are among the means used by underground miners to hide their operations from authorities and circumvent the ban." So that's the biggest part of it. Without the electrical draw, it's a lot harder to track down who the miners are. Geographically scattered, small scale. I wouldn't be surprised to find these guys are using off-grid hydropower and hooking into the internet via wireless. Let's check on the markets. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $1.25 trillion. That's down 3.29% from yesterday. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin down 3.52%, Ethereum down 4.48%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin down 2.28%. Now, remember that drop in China's hash rate during the month of August that we were just talking about? Well, a bunch of China's miners shipped their operations overseas. Now, most of them went to the United States. A bunch of them shipped their operations across the border, Kazakhstan. They got the second largest number of migrating miners. Their network share went above 18% last August, right in that time frame that we're talking about. But also, it would appear, looking at the data, maybe that's what the Chinese miners were doing. Maybe they've been out scouting locations, setting up, and creeping back into the Bitcoin mining thing on the down low. The CCF thinks about the same. Their report said, quote, "It takes time to find existing or build new non-traceable hosting facilities at that scale. It is probable that a non-trivial share of Chinese miners quickly adapted to the new circumstances and continued operating covertly while hiding their tracks using foreign proxy services to deflect attention and scrutiny. As the ban has set in and time has passed, it appears that the underground miners have grown more confident and seem content with the protection offered by local proxy services." And there's another aspect of this that probably helped the miners out, though I'm sure the Chinese government wouldn't want to talk about it. People think of China as this huge monolith. Much like Europe isn't a monolith, much like the continent of Africa isn't a monolith, much like the United States, China isn't a monolith. China is a patchwork of provinces and regions, and the rulers of those provinces and those regions might not be on board with everything that the People's Republic of China is all about, especially when faced with competing resources. They might not prioritize the same things everywhere. Right now, they're worried about COVID in Shanghai. The local government in Shanghai might not be as concerned about cryptocurrency as somewhere like Beijing. And it is no great secret that this ban has caused the industry huge problems, especially for the business owners who are forced into moving expensive, fragile, specialized equipment. That would be difficult enough, but throw a pandemic on top of it? The PRC likes to put people on lockdown during COVID outbreaks. The ports and shipping industry are at a standstill. By the end of 2021, an estimated 2 million crypto miners were stuck in southwest Sichuan province because of shipping issues. Now think about this for a minute. 2 million mining machines offline, not earning. Estimates are each machine could earn 170 yuan a day. That's about $26.70 US. That's millions of dollars that they'll never get back. Millions of dollars that they will continue to lose as long as those machines are offline. So nobody's surprised, right? With the amount of money at stake, yeah, people are going to do things like use a VPN to hide their location, use creative off-grid power sources so you don't get tracked that way, hide little installations of machines in villages near the rivers instead of big ones, less risky if something gets caught. I guess I can see why they would try these things with that much money at stake. By the way, that bit about the VPN, it seems like they've stopped doing that. Once it became obvious that going off-grid with electricity was working, it was giving them enough obscurity, they dropped the VPNs. And all of this is data borne out from within the Middle Kingdom. Qho 360 is a Chinese cybersecurity company. Last November, they launched a new mining monitor. Now, how does this mining monitor work? I don't know. They're saying it's proprietary network traffic monitoring and big data analysis, but they claim that it can provide mining IP address, geographical location, how they're connected to the internet, how often they connect. Its intended customers are government agencies and companies that want to comply. They don't want to go to jail over crypto mining. According to them, some 190,000 IPs were associated with mining. Those were active daily, mostly in the provinces of Guangdong, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shandong. Mostly home broadband connections, all of which kind of goes with the theory that they've scattered. The global NFT market cap is up over $10.68 billion. Sales volume is up 1.65% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap.com, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are Other Deed, followed by Bored Apes, Clonex, Moonbirds, and Mutant Apes. Keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Already, though, the Chinese government is taking steps. They've instituted something called DNA poisoning. What this means is a lot of miners and mining pools were having connection issues. Binance Pool is an example. In Poolin, they reported the problem on their Chinese Telegram channels. F2 Pool also reported it. They said that their domain name wasn't being properly resolved. Via BTC, another victim. Anyone trying to go to viabtc.com was redirected somewhere else, away from their site. Now, when this happened, Binance Pool advised their users to modify their DNS to fix the issue. They also suggested using a VPN. So it seems like that might yet become a viable tool again that they use. Now, one question is, why would China ban crypto? You would think China would be all over anything that brings more wealth, that brings more value into Chinese coffers. I could totally see it going the other way with the Chinese state-sponsored mining rigs designed to outperform those decadent Western mining rigs, just because it brings value into China. And the fact that during an economic crisis, the Chinese government might be looking the other way while Chinese citizens bring outsider wealth inside China's borders. But the question, and I do think it is a fair one, why would China ban crypto? It's control. It's always been about control. Bitcoin doesn't allow the People's Republic of China not one iota of control. They can't control who uses it, how it's used, where it's used, and what it's used for. But, and if you've been listening for a while, you know what does. China has already piloted a central bank digital currency, a CDBC. It's going through a larger test now. A CDBC is perfect for Chinese interests. China's CDBC allows them both control and surveillance against anyone who uses it. With something like their own CDBC at their control, why would they permit any form of competition? And that's exactly what cryptocurrency is, competition. Thanks for listening tonight. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed tonight's show, like, comment, and subscribe. Give us a glowing review, because that helps other people find their way to this podcast. Do you have questions or comments? Reach out and let us know. The email address is nick@cryptoovernighter.com. That's nick@cryptoovernighter.com. We'll see you next time.